Welcome back, students. Your inheritance is the basic concept of oops. Here, inheritance means by using this inheritance, we can reuse the code. Whatever the code is developed, we can reuse the code in another program also by using the inheritance. Here, inheritance in C++ takes place between the classes. We are going to perform the operation of inheritance in between the two classes. For example, here class ABC is there. In class ABC, I am going to defining one data member A, one member function add, right? Here I am going to define one more class XYZ. In this class XYZ, I am going to define one more variable int b, one more function void multiplication. Here class XYZ is having one data member, that is b, void multiplication is there, right? Here I am performing the inheritance operation in between these two classes, class ABC, class XYZ. Here already see the second point, inheritance in C++ takes place between the classes. Inheritance is going to perform between the classes. Here I am going to perform in the inheritance operation in between class ABC and class XYZ. Class ABC and class XYZ. Inheritance means here one class is going to inherit all the properties of another class. Inheritance means one class is going to inherit all the properties of another class. Here class XYZ is there, class XYZ here extends ABC. Extends is the keyword to perform the inheritance. Extends is the keyword to perform the inheritance. Here class XYZ extends ABC. Class ABC means here whatever the data members, whatever the member functions which are present in class ABC is going to inherit in class XYZ. Right? Already I explained, to access the data members, member functions outside the class, we have to create the object, right? We have to create the object. Here for example, int a is there, void add is there. How to access this a and add outside the class? We have to create the object. See here, ABC obj1. Obj1 is object of class ABC. By using this object, we can access the data member a, we can access the member function add. See here, obj1 dot add, right? obj1 dot a. Here we can access, right? Now here class XYZ is there. To access the class XYZ data members and member functions, we have to create the object for this XYZ now. XYZ obj2, right? obj2 dot b, obj2 dot multiplication, right? Here by using this object 2, we can access the data member b and we can access the member function multiplication which is present in class XYZ if these two classes are defined, right? Now here I am extending the class XYZ to ABC. I am extending this class XYZ to ABC. Now this class ABC is known as the superclass. Class XYZ is known as the child class or subclass. Our superclass or parent class. Here whenever we are going to performing the inheritance, here whatever the subclass is there, whatever the child class is going to inherit all the properties of its parent class. Here what are the properties of parent class? Here a is there, add is there. Now this class XYZ is consisting of all the data members, member functions which are present in the parent class. It is going to inherit. See here now class XYZ is having b variable, b instance variable multiplication plus a and add function. A and add function. Why? Because it is going to inherit all the properties of its superclass, its parent class. Here a and here I am going to by creating the object of obj1, we can access a comma add. Here I am creating the object for obj2. Here by using this obj2 object, we can access the data members and member functions of its superclass. What is superclass for XYZ? Class ABC is the superclass. So by using this obj2, we can access the variable A, data member A, and we can access the variable member function add. But by using this object 1, we can't access B and we can't access multiplication. Why? Because see here, these two are the data members and member functions of its subclass, its child class. That's the reason here superclass object cannot access the data members, member functions of its subclass, whereas subclass can access the data members and member functions of its superclass. So see here, child class or derived class, subclass. A child class inherits both the behavior means member functions, and properties means member variables from its parent class. Here we are having various types of inheritance. We are having one separate chapter for inheritance. In that I will explain in detail. Next one is the polymorphism. Polymorphism means here many forms. Single function is having many forms. Polymorphism means single function is having many forms. By using polymorphism, we can perform function overloading and operator overloading. Function overloading and operator overloading is going to be performed by using the polymorphism. Poly means many, morphism means forms, many forms. Here if a single function is having many forms, for example add function, already I explained. Add function is there. This add function is going to use for 2, 3 addition of 2 numbers. Same add function is going to perform addition of 3 numbers 2, 3, 4, or same add function is going to perform addition of 4 numbers. So function name is same. Here variables are different. Here we are passing 2 variables, here we are passing 3 variables, here we are passing 4 variables. Here the polymorphism is the basic concept of object oriented programming language. Here by using the polymorphism we can perform the function overloading and we can perform the operator overloading. Here function overloading is function name is same, but we are going to pass various types of parameters, whereas in the same way we are going to, in operator overloading also we can perform the same thing. Here for example plus is there, 2 plus 3, here 2 plus 3 equals to 5, right? Here plus operation is there, 2 plus 3 equals to 5. Here in the same way, here plus operator is using for addition of 2 integer, here whereas plus operation is used for these two hello world. This is one string, string 1, this is string 2. Here I am adding these 2 strings, then you are going to get hello world. Here same plus operator is there, same plus operator is there. So single or same operator is going to use by the different purposes, then it is known as the operator overloading. Here we can perform function overloading and operator overloading in C++. These are the concepts of object oriented programming language. Next one is dynamic binding. Dynamic binding means here code is going to be executed at runtime. Here dynamic binding is the basic features of C++. Here by using the dynamic binding, here we are going to call that particular function at runtime. Whenever we are going to define any function, whenever the object is created, by using that particular object we are going to call that particular function, right? Here by using the virtual functions, we can perform the dynamic binding operation. Here dynamic binding property is there. By using the virtual functions we are going to perform the dynamic binding operation. Here we are going to call the virtual functions at runtime. Next one is the message passing. Message passing means we are going to communicate in between two objects. For example, here class ABC is there. For the class ABC, we are having various types of data members and member functions. Here I am going to create one object obj1, same obj ABC, obj2. Here I am going to create one object obj1. I am going to create one more object obj2. Here, by using this obj1, we are going to call the instance variable a and data member functions add. By using this obj2, we are going to call the variable a and we are going to call the member function add. Right? Here, in message passing means we are going to communicate these two. We are going to communicate, we are going to pass the messages in between these two objects. How we are going to pass the message these two? For example, here object 2 is there. Now I am going to use this object 2. By using this object 2, I am going to invoke the function add. Right? By using this object 2, I am going to invoke the function add. In this function add, I am going to call the variable a. I am going to call the variable a by using object 1. By using object 1, I am going to call the variable a. Here obj1, obj2, whenever we are going to create any object for this class, separate memory allocation is allocated for obj1, separate memory allocation is going to allocated to obj2. Right? Now we are passing the messages by using these two objects. We are passing the messages by using these two objects. Here I am calling the add function by using this obj2. Right? Here whenever I am going to call this function, in this function I am calling the variable a by using object 1. Right? By using object 1. Here it is possible by using the message passing technique. Message passing technique means here just we are going to communicate by using the objects. We are going to transferring the information by using the objects. Where here uses of C++, where you are going to use this C++. Here in application domain also we can use C++. In research oriented domain also we can use C++, and to create the user interfaces, in that case also we can use the C++ programming language. These three are the basic uses of C++. First one is the in application domain, second one is the in research domain, third one is the to use as a user interface. Here next topic is standard libraries. Standard libraries means here whenever we are going to define any programming language, here that particular developer is going to develop the standard library for that particular programming language. Every programming language is having its own library. Here C++ library is divided into three parts. First one is the core language gives all the building blocks here, just like variables, data type, literals, constants, all those things are there. Those are defined in one part, right? In the core language, all these literal values are there, constant values are there. Those are defined in the first part. In second part, here you are going to define standard built-in functions are there. Built-in functions are there. These built-in functions are there. These built-in functions are used to execute the program. For example, in C programming language, we are having the printf function is there. In scanf function is there. Right, log function is there, abs function is there. Same as here also we are having printf function. Instead of printf function we are having cin, cout, log, cosx. All the different types of functions are present, built-in functions are present in C library. Next one is the third part is the generic data type is there. In that particular, here in C++ we are using templates. That's the reason we are going to use the generic data type. Next is sample program of C++. Just I will explain one simple program. Right here, whereas in case of C language we are going to use hash include stdio.h header file, right? Hash include stdio.header file is we are going to use, whereas in case of C++ we are going to use hash include io stream .h header file. Here this iostream.h header file consists of input and output function. Cin is the input function, Cout is the output function. Cin is the input function, Cout is the output function. Here in stdio.header file we are having the code of printf and scanf function, whereas in this case in iostream.h header file we are having cin and cout functions are there. These two functions are going to use as a input and output operations, right? Here void main is there. Here int a, right? Here I am declaring variable a here. I am declaring variable a here. Now here just I want to display, I want to enter the value of a and I want to get the value of a, right? How you are going to performing the operation in this case? Just we have to enter the value of a, then we have to read the value of a, then we have to display the value of a. Is it right? Right. Here now int a is there. Now I want to enter the value of a. How you are going to enter the value of a? Cin, enter the value of a. Cin, enter the value of a. Next is, here we have to, in next class I will continue.